All right. Good morning, good afternoon, however, whenever you're watching this. I hope everybody's having a great day. This is the review show, week 6. I am your host, Stephen Willis. And yesterday, we got the necessary part for chaos to ensure. There is one step left from total anarchy in college football, and that is Alabama defeating Georgia in the SEC championship game. If that happens, the playoff goes into a tailspin. And everybody wants all these different teams. Those 4 teams are going to be increasingly difficult to fill if everybody has a loss. You need undefeated teams for a 14 playoff, or else it just becomes a popularity contest or eyeball test. Congratulations to Jimbo Fisher, who became forever known as the first assistant coach to defeat Nick Saban in Texas A&M's 41-38 win. Also, Texas A&M has lost to Mississippi State, has lost to Arkansas, and has beaten Alabama. So they're not a threat right now to go to Atlanta. It's in a situation where if Alabama drops one more game, basically the tiebreaker is the only thing that is separating them at the moment. So if Alabama loses a game, Ole Miss comes back in the catbird seat. We were talking about Ole Miss playing essentially for the Sugar Bowl. That's what they're going for. Their hopes and dreams got a little bit more broad looking forward because of this upset. Because Auburn is still on the schedule, and no matter what you say, we've seen that recently, they can stand up, especially. But Bryce Young has not looked very good on the road. This is twice now, Texas A&M and at Florida, he has not looked like the same quarterback he has at home. I don't know if it's a problem. I don't even know if there's any reason for anything, but that absolutely is the case at the moment. But Texas A&M, a 41-38 winner. Also, Kentucky, I know we're talking about Kentucky on the review show. 42-21 victor over LSU. It was a domination. It was a blowout. I'm beginning to wonder if the Wildcats might be a little bit for real next weekend. Florida and Georgia in the game of the week on CBS at 2:30. Everybody's going to want to tune in for that one before you tune in for the Ole Miss Tennessee game. Let's go over the scores real quick. Coastal Carolina, 52-20 victor over Arkansas State. Cincinnati handled business, 52-3 over Temple. Arizona State, number 22 Arizona State, 28-10 victor over Stanford. Michigan State, a 31-13 win over Rutgers. Michigan State is just on the periphery of being a playoff contender. I don't know if they're going to be there. I think I'm gun shy because of what's happened the last couple of years, but they are right on the periphery. Ohio State's kind of getting into gear. 66-17 victor over Maryland. Florida defeated Vanderbilt in a very surprisingly ugly game, but they covered, winning 42-0. It didn't quite look the way they expected it to look. One of the games that everybody is talking about today, Ole Miss, a 52-51 victor over 12th or 13th ranked Arkansas. Ole Miss is ranked 17th, so this is considered a higher ranked win. They won the game yesterday and kind of put themselves in the catbird seat moving on. They got Tennessee this weekend. In the other great game of the early period, Oklahoma came back from a 28-7 deficit, beat Texas 55-48 on a fluke last-second play, like 20 seconds left. They were going to set up like a 50-yard field goal, but they just ran it in. It was a running play for a score. It was bizarre. Wake Forest needed overtime to defeat Syracuse, and Garrett Schrader playing quarterback. Georgia just completely devastated Auburn. You see these scores and you're like, oh, Georgia didn't beat them that much. No, Georgia's playing old-timey football. And because of that, the score is 34-10, but it was really like 51-10. Like, that's what it felt like. It felt like a total blowout. Auburn did score a touchdown. I think that's the first touchdown the starting Georgia defense has given up this season. This is game 6. Yeah, they're good. BYU got beat. Number 10 BYU got beat 26-17 by Boise State. SMU came back and won against Navy 31-24. The Iowa Hawkeyes won 23-20. over the Penn State Nittany Lions. Now, we're going to rank Iowa 2 because Iowa deserves to be ranked 2 right now. But it should be known that Penn State was up in this game 17-3 before their starting quarterback got injured. And then Iowa just fought back trying to get back in the game. But the reality is the quarterback at Penn State couldn't do too much. So I don't necessarily think they're going to stay there. They have a good team. But, I mean, we'll see exactly how that looks out. Notre Dame kicked a field goal late to beat Virginia Tech in Blacksburg. Same thing goes with Michigan and Lincoln. This is a game probably that Michigan should have lost. They probably shouldn't have won this game. And Michigan is going to drop out of our playoff rankings because of it. So, those are the main results of the weekend. I'm looking forward to Ole Miss and Tennessee next weekend. It could be a 5-hour game. So if you're planning on getting out of there earlier and doing whatever you need to do, good luck. It's one of the reasons we don't do a show on the actual game day. We're going to do Twitter Spaces again like we did last week. That came out and did pretty well. There was a pregame Twitter Spaces, a halftime Twitter Spaces, and a postgame Twitter Spaces done. Just to handle the void. That's what we do on game day here. And then as the week goes on, we do the review show on Sunday, and then we have like a set pattern during the week. So stay tuned for that. Went to Hollywood Studios Friday night. Did not spend a dime. Did Toy Story Land. We did Slinky Dog and Toy Story Mania and got out of there. It's pretty great. I am really enjoying being an annual pass holder. Kind of fun. Let's see the playoff rankings right now. These are the current playoff rankings at the moment. Georgia, who has been consistently our number one team all the way through this. They're playing like a true number one. Iowa, we talked about that. They beat Penn State, but it was 17-3 when Sean Clifford went down at Penn State and Iowa came back. So, but 2 top 10 wins. That's nothing to sneeze at. That's the reason Iowa is getting placed at 2. It's a good football team, probably not a great football team, and I'm expecting them to get beat down the road. Cincinnati just completely keeps acting like a playoff team. They've beaten Notre Dame, they've beaten Indiana, they've beaten every team that comes in front of them. They're going to be a nightmare to whoever plays them in the playoff whenever you come up. And Oklahoma, I know. I can hear everybody talking about it right now. But Oklahoma's in it because they're undefeated. And that's something that's not said much about teams in the top 10 right now. And their comeback against Texas was kind of impressive. They benched Spencer Rattler. They put in Caleb Williams. Caleb Williams led the comeback. I'm interested to see what it looks like next week. Number 5, Alabama. I just, for whatever reason, didn't want to drop them out of the top 6. And number 6, a debutante, is the Kentucky Wildcats. They deserve to be in there, guys. This wasn't any type of short-sighted. They blew LSU off the field last night. It was not nearly as close as the score makes it seem, and they just completely dominated. And that was with throwing for 130 yards. It was absolutely bizarre. But Georgia and Kentucky this weekend on CBS. It might be a one-weekend trip for the Kentucky Wildcats, but they still got in there. I'm pretty excited about these rankings and what's going on. But it was just a massively good day of college football yesterday. Just a massively good day. And I'm pretty excited about it. I'll see Ole Miss and Tennessee is in SEC Saturday night next weekend. Neyland Stadium will be rocking. They're excited. They're scoring a lot of points. You know what they say, offense puts butts in seats. Defense wins championships. Neither team has a really great defense. Both of them have a great offense. It could be a 5-hour game, and I'm expecting a lot of points. But we'll see how that goes. Sometimes when Ole Miss goes up to Tennessee, it turns into a little bit of a house of horrors for them. Like in 2010 after Jeremiah Masoli took a concussion against Louisiana, and like Tyler Bray and the Tennessee Vols kind of jumped on them. But the year before, Dexter McCluster ran for 7,000 yards en route to a school record. So it all comes back. I'm looking forward to that game. Hendon Hooker at Tennessee has kind of stabilized that team. They started out with Joe Milton. Joe Milton wasn't the answer. Our favorite Joe Milton joke is if you want Joe Milton to throw the ball 40 yards, he can throw the ball 40 yards. If you need Joe Milton to throw the ball 30 yards, he can throw the ball 40 yards. That's my favorite joke at the moment, and it's kind of relevant. So want everybody to have a great week. We're going to come back with a review of the game, Ole Miss Arkansas game on Monday a little bit. And on Tuesday, we'll get into the Tennessee game, honest. And, we have best of the West with Alabama here. Jake Thomas coming in on Tuesday. I'm sure he's going to talk about the Aggies and the Tide. Great games going on this weekend. Kevin Bohannon's there. He's the Arkansas perspective of the Ole Miss Arkansas game right there. So tune in for that. SEC After Dark, same thing's happening. But, yeah, this is an interesting season, and we hit the point where we need one more thing to happen for chaos to ensue, and that is Alabama defeating Georgia in the SEC championship game. And that I don't think anybody would doubt that is possible. Although I worry about the letdown they just had at College Station. It's obvious that they spent the last year preparing for Lane, and they played down to Texas A&M. The kids wasn't ready to go. So, anyway, I'm Stephen Willis. This has been the review show for Week 6. Tune in next week. We'll do it all over again. I hope everybody has a great time. And, of course, just want to say, hotty toddy.